Hey guys, this is Waldog. Um, this is I think this is a much needed kind of, it's not like a venting video, it's more like a, just good for me to talk video. Like, clearly, I'm an adult, um, and I'm still growing and developing. And, I'm also, I'm trying to fix this light, hold on. I don't know what's going on. I'm using my phone as a light. I found another light, but I'm too lazy to get it. It's in my backpack. I don't feel like getting up. So, like, I'm an adult, so-called superhero. I say with the emphasis on so-called. Um, but I'm a vampire. Like, and I'm also uh, I actually am a realist in a lot of ways. Um, Probably more so of like a nihilist when I'm really being a vampire. And when I say really being a vampire, I mean having to uncomfortably be so because I don't actually, for the most part, I prefer to, you know, try to be one of the dudes or try to experience life. Uh, I sacrifice a lot by doing so. And I don't know, like what I think about the positives, and I do it because I don't have to. Like clearly, like one of the things, like I could say I'm like emotional, just emotional. I got emotions, I got feelings, and you know, all this talk about, whatever. But the thing is about being a vampire is that, I'm also fully capable of just being completely numb. So it's like it's a weird thing. So I'm just like, oh, like tragedy, but I'm like, well, I'm no stranger to pain and emotional pain, physical pain, and thank God I'm an adult. I made it. I made it to adulthood a while ago, or whatever. I'm still progressing, and it's freaking great. Being able to laugh at, um, being able to turn my frown upside down is a tremendous ability. And then being able to go numb and do higher transformations of supernatural stuff, that's definitely a good thing. Uh, but it's not easy. Um, One thing I don't talk about, I don't know if I've actually talked about this, but it's something that I have to bring to the forefront of my mind because I'm reminded of it. Is that by being in higher levels of being in for prolonged periods of time as a in higher states of vampirism is it affects my mentality. It affects a lot of things about me, and doing so out of necessity is different. I mean, clearly, I just said I don't. I would prefer that not to be the case, but given the very how do I say this? It's like my hands waving over here. I'm trying to come up with the right words. Um, Adapt, uh, given the nature of life, nature of things, and growth and development, and trusting people. I do trust people. I trust people very much. Uh, it comes with caring about people and loving people and the reciprocation of such things. It's, how do I say this? Like, to me, I mean, this is one of those things that I can't, unless I can't explain it, because it's like the numbness. It's it's like I realize I need it, particularly to make, to be a leader and to, it's like to me, like I want to put it in terms of like my religious views. It's like, how like people who are religious, um one of the things is like spiritual practices, right? Like, and certain spiritual practices or spiritual beliefs may require the giving up of things, and that is basically how I see it. Like, for my, uh, it may not be the correct way of what I'm trying to say, but this is probably the closest that I could come to explain it. It's like I have religious views, okay, and because of that, I realize that some things that could make my life easier, I don't do, and I'm very, very, very reluctant. So much so, uh, to have to be in a prolonged higher state of vampirism, because for many reasons, it has to do with I've got so many excuses and reasonings, uh, and so many. I could come up with 100 reasons, but none of the reasons are. It's like one of those things. It's like you got to adapt, you got to grow, you got to learn how to. Sometimes in life, you got to learn how to do things differently, and I'm well aware of that. Maybe the process of me doing that. I don't think it's a maybe, it's a definite. It's like I know that it's a definite, that the process of adapting is required. And I realize that being an adult, um, one of the things that comes with that is compromise and moderation, um, moderation in decision making. And that's not too difficult for me nowadays. But as far as routines, that is what's difficult for me, because it's like, but because I like routines, and but I realize, so back to the thing that I have trouble talking about: prolonged, um, higher levels of vampirism, which I'm capable of doing, um, but doing so, um, and maintaining that kind of lifestyle, and the attributes, the parts that are beneficial to me as a person, main, you know, developing positive processes and adaptations, and accepting that, and using that, doing all of that while maintaining, um, as I'm trying to put into words, my religious beliefs, uh, is extremely difficult, because it's much like I'm describing myself and admitting that I'm very much like, I feel right now like I'm a the expression, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Like, that's me right now. It's like, I feel like a horse. Um, and there's like, I don't know how to explain it, but I'm gonna try to say it. I was gonna say, like there's someone behind me with like a stick, or like poking me or something. It's like, drink the water, drink the water. I'm like, no. And I look, and there's like I like turn around. I'm the horse, and I'm like, there's a crocodile in the water. And they're like, and the person, whoever the person or whatever, could be God, could be uh, be so many things, but just, I turn around, and that person is just like, okay, there's a crocodile in the water. So what? You're gonna be fine. You need to drink water. I'm like, no. But that's how I feel. But clearly, that I feel, to me, the meaning behind that analogy or whatever is growth and development process, development of myself, given the pressures of life, and it's good for me. I know it's good for me, and I can see things from a lot of different angles, and even though I don't want to dive deeper into my vampire life, if you will, I'd rather, clearly, much rather keep things the way they were, I guess. I realize that it's not a possibility. I'm actually, um, part of me is actually quite glad that it's not. Um, I've been in this particular position several times, and each time I was grateful, and grateful to God, given the opportunity to have things taken away from me, so that I can grow, get stronger. So, and but this time that it's happened several times in my life, and I'm sure it's happened. It's normal. This type of thing, I've seen it. People, you know, be put in positions to where they have to move forward. Uh, it's it's definitely complicated, and I'm not really. I'm very, very much so not a fan of the vampire numbness that is required to transition into this new lifestyle, into a different type of thinking. And but I know I gotta do it. It's not really an option. It's more of a requirement at this, given the conditions and things. Like, I'll just say it. I'm just gonna complain since I'm venting. This is now just venting. The numbness makes me feel like I'm dead. Uh, Clearly, it's supernatural and abnormal, and I really don't like using it unless because it has such a profound effect on my mentality and my psychology. Uh, and I've got a lot of trauma, and I do see it as an opportunity to, in that mentality, in that to be able to work on that. Um, so I'm optimistic, but boy, oh boy, is it scary to me. Uh, I'll admit that because I don't like it, and I don't tend to use it. Uh, but I'm an adult, and it's okay. I'm okay. I'm fine. I know that I'm gonna, like, tomorrow I may feel whatever feelings, whatever, tired, sick, uh, distressed, depressed, anxiety, overwhelming feelings. But clearly, as I've just discussed, all of that can just go away um, if I wanted to. So, gotta be more of a vampire. More of a holy vampire, should I say? A vampire. Gotta have my religious beliefs be stronger. Gotta embrace them so much more. So I stay on course and not be lost at sea, so to speak. But, I guess that's another way of saying being responsible. So, and disciplined. I thought about that. I was at the gym after work and I was walking on a treadmill and I was like, I'll admit this. I was thinking, crabby thoughts, like being crabby, grumpy, which, I'm entitled to my feelings, I think, on the treadmill. And I was like, man, I think, like this is crabby thinking, and it's. Uh, I was thinking about how being a male vampire sucks, but then I was thinking, I was like, what being a male vampire require is being a holy one, being a religious one requires an incredible amount of discipline. And that made me feel better. I was like, you know what? I'm right. It does require an incredible amount of discipline. And I'm like, I made myself feel good. I'm like, yeah. So I just gotta embrace that, play to my strengths, and be more of a holy vampire. Yeah. So, all right, y'all. Appreciate y'all for watching. Yeah, I'm gonna get going. Get some rest. So, talk to you later. Bye.